Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video with me. I am S-Drifter Abdul. Anyway, it's going to be a long video with gameplay revealing and showing my newest feature that is called Softbody vehicle damage. It's supposed to be advanced vehicle damage, and this entire voiceovers are going to be live recorded, and it's going to be live recorded. I'm not scripting anything to say. I'm speaking right now as I'm watching the video, and I will be commenting on various scenes and various notes about how this stuff works and what's happening on the screen, all this stuff. Alright, so let's get into it. Welcome again. Excuse my weird ramblings. Again, I will remind you that this is a live recording and it's unscripted, so I'm just saying whatever I have to say at the moment. The scene you're looking at right now is what I call the sharp edge test. It's just like it sounds. It's supposed to be a sharp edge, and you can crash your vehicle in one of the two sharp edges that are next to each other in any orientation you want. Like you can go straight into it, or you can have a slight drift to it and hit the vehicle on its side to have various different impacts, Alright, then let's go to the next scene. And I hope you brought popcorn or some drink or something, because this is going to be at least over 40 minutes video. So let's go. This one is kind of a funny idea. I mean, it's called the squeezer. I call this part of the map the squeezer. This one here, the one that goes slowly from top to bottom, is the main squeezer, and I have another squeezer right next to it on the right side. It's supposed to squeeze you on the left and the right side of the car. The effects of the crash can be varying, but I hope you will get to experience them on your own someday. But the roof crash were the most satisfying of them all, because in my previous car damage system, if you remember from 2020, it was too spiky. It was too spiky and too sharp, so the damage, it was weird. It wasn't like it didn't have a natural feel to it, This one over here, it bends all the way around, It doesn't have like some sticky bits of it. Anyway, enjoy this one. It's going to fall off. Alright. And by the way, I'm doing the voiceovers on these clips before they were edited. So I'm totally doing the voiceovers without knowing which clip of this is going to be shown before the other. I hope you get the idea. Anyway, let's keep looking at it. And sorry if my voice is bothering you. I didn't know if I should make these voiceovers. Let's enjoy some side squeeze, even though it won't be too obvious. Well, that wasn't too bad. So what you're looking at right now, it's supposed to be some sort of suspension test. I mean, it's not very relevant to to the Softbody damage, but I decided to include it because why not? Since I wanted to have a full and complete crash test area, so I didn't want to exclude any type of crash test, you know. So even though this suspension tests have very little to do with the Softbody, you can still see somewhat how the vehicle behaves with it. Like you can see some sparks fly off the car. That's intentional and it's made to be like that. I don't know if you can see, but the wheels are also supposed to bend a little, and the overall lightweight damage that occur with the suspension test is satisfactory. I mean, it's what you would expect. It's what you would expect from moving on to the next scene. This one is the fall off test area. It's you're supposed to fall off it. This is an experimental lift I made. Not very satisfied with it. I mean, you can see it doesn't move smoothly up, but it does the job. It's supposed to be a crash test area anyway. So I'm trying to get the car to fall on its roof to show you the roof bend, you know. But since we're here, take a look at the wheel bend. You can see that the wheels get affected as well by the crash. The wheels have an offset to them and an angle, a bend. I call it a bend angle, you know. Not a gender bender, but you get the idea. Alright, let's take a look at the mirror. It fell off on the ground. Even small parts like this, like the mirror, the badging, small parts like this can fall off. And that has nothing to do with the stock San Andreas damage system, you know. Well then, moving on, let's put this car to rest since it's done its job. In this scene, I had the most fun while making the script doing this section, because this is the melee attacks, of course. Each melee weapon has slightly different effects on how much damage it does to the car. For example, your fist does very little damage. This police nightstick does medium damage, and then we have the chainsaw that you're going to see later in the video. It does the maximum damage to the car, you know. Take a look at the debris that's flying off the car when you hit it. That's the same color as the car. For example, if the car was red, the debris flying will be red. In a little bit, when you see me going over the car on the roof and I will start hitting it, the damage sound wasn't playing. That was a small bug which I fixed after recording the video. The damage sound was supposed to play on the roof damage. Anyway, let's take a look at this crash of a car being repaired in that sweet animation again. There we go. Maximum damage, baby. I apologize for the spoiler sticking out of the trunk. That wasn't supposed to happen because initially the trunk was never supposed to be able to fall off, but I made an exception and made it fall off. I'll probably block the truck from ever falling off because many accessories are dependent on the truck, like spoilers, different attachments, stuff like that. So having the trunk not fall off is probably a good idea. You would rather anyway just have the trunk stuck there than be looking at a floating spoiler. That's the most thing I hate. In this scene, you are taking a look at a tire fall off effect. This is now a 4-wheel drive vehicle. I made it 4-wheel drive because before, when it was rear-wheel drive, doing burnouts popped the rear tires before it affected the front one, because the drivetrain have an impact on the level the tire is wearing off. Also, if you take a look at the damage indicator in the left side of the screen, you can see it now, but you cannot see it. But I made sure that when you're driving in a front-wheel drive car, you won't be able to take a look at the transmission because it doesn't have it. When you're driving a rear engine vehicle, the engine will be drawn at the bottom of the car in the damage indicator, just like a real rally game. And that damage indicator is inspired, if not directly copied, from Colin McRae Rally 2005, because that was my childhood favorite PS2 game. Alright, here's the climax, boys. Here's the climax. Okay, boys, here's the climax. We're going to launch straight into that stone over there, or the wall. Alright, so the tire now is off. You can see that the brake rotor and the caliper is still showing. That's intentional, of course, because before, when I was making this feature, the entire tire fell off. So I made a little detail to at least keep this showing up. And if you take a look at the damage indicator, now it's gone. But when the tire is fell off, you can't see it in the damage indicator. It will be empty. And when it's popped, it will be red, but with some stripes to indicate that it's popped out. Now this one is a bit of a controversy because I don't know if I can show it on YouTube or not, but it's a blood layer demo. When you hit a pedestrian that's not alive, it's just a game. I have to specify that. And I don't encourage people to do this in real life. If they have an exact copy of this blue Sylvia S15, I'd rather they don't copy this For some reason the blood went from the left to the right. I don't know what magic made this. Again, I contribute this to the lack of accuracy, but it's good enough, you know. We were never supposed to have this feature anyway. I'm going to give this guy a couple of hits, and for some reason the bloody attack wasn't registered properly because it has some randomness to it and some speed factors, angle, velocity, stuff like that. It's not supposed to be instant. I think in this next hit it's going to show up. Yeah, nicely I think. It paints over the car paint and the glass itself. It doesn't skip the glass. This one is nice. Yeah. I think enough about this guy. I think we've hit him enough. He keeps getting up. Alright, that was about the last spill of blood he had. Now we have to somehow get rid of this mess we made. We can't go in the video without cleaning the car, you know. Now this is pretty much a crime scene. We have to get rid of the evidence, you know. Let's just clean it here with water and soap and call it a day, you know. Well, I guess we're going to be stuck with a bloody car or until we repair it fully, because the blood, when your vehicle is bloody, you can't clean it. It's a suspected car, you know. Now this is a random scene with the bloody plus dirty Sylvia from before. I had escaped in a barn somewhere. It was hidden for a couple of months or probably even years. I don't know. But the car accumulated some dirt over the time, and you're looking at it right now. When making the cars for Fast and Furious Paradise X, the vehicles need to be adapted perfectly for this to work. There's a lot of work behind the scene that goes into preparing a car to react the exact way you're supposed to make it react, you know? You can't just take a normal car mode, install it on MTA, run my scripts and expect it to work. It wouldn't. The car needs to be made in a certain way with certain part names and certain UV layouts, stuff like that, you know? Because everything is a calculated move on my part. Let's move on again. this clip we are taking a look at Convertible or Cabrio S15 in red. This one is supposed to focus more on the roof, since the roof is animated, as you can see. I had the possibility to stop the roof from opening up or closing when the car is damaged enough, or it's damaged in the area where the roof mechanism is supposed to be. But I decided not to do that for the sake of making the video, because it wouldn't be fun if you couldn't take a look at the animation when the car was damaged, you know? Again, sorry if I don't sound too excited. I'm actually excited. I'm just this way when I don't know what to say, you know? Here's another squeezer. And another one. DG Khaled. Another one. Here's the sharp edge. Slow-mo that. Have you noticed the gaps? The gaps in the trunk and the bonnet? That isn't random, that's something I made. I made sure that when your car is at a certain level of damage in a certain area, the door or panel nearest to it will have a slight gap, because it looked kinda plain and like rice with no milk when there were no gaps in the vehicle, you know? So I had to add a little variety to the show. And let's not forget, of course, the wobbly parts that wobble and leave spark in the ground, and eventually they will fall off. That's also not the default San Andreas mechanic. That's something I made, because these parts are not using the default GTA physics for damage, like the one with the dash dam next to it. Now on this we will be using what's called a crash test car. Obviously I painted it this way to kind of show the ridges and the bends of the body of the vehicle, you know? I'm not sure if it did a good job, but there you go, you're looking at this. Enjoy the slow-mo. And since we're speaking about the slow-mo, I have to tell you guys that the slow motion feature is something I made especially just to record this video. It's not supposed to make it to the final version, because it has something to do with setting the game speed slow or up, you know what I mean? And that causes some synchronization problems between the clients. So I can't use it in the actual server. I can only use it to record a couple of scenes. I'm doing simple mouse presses. When I press the mouse, the game enters slow motion. Just something like BeamNG drive, you know? Anyway. In case I haven't mentioned it, next time when I repair the car, I want you to take a look at how slowly the vertices and the body shape slowly regains its original shape. I didn't want to simply repair the car and have it instantly be repaired. I wanted to give it a slight animation to make it more unique, you know. And this area, by the way, was supposed to be a pool full of water. We were supposed to show you what's called electrical engine failure. It's when your engine shuts down due to water. But we couldn't create water because this test map was created too far outside of the map boundaries. So we were stuck with an empty pool. I hope that does the job. I was working on a little project in Unity. I might tell you about it more as the video progresses, maybe. This is the short video from YouTube from last time, if you remember. This was the clips I could collect while recording. But this is actually what happened during recording, so you shouldn't believe anything you see on YouTube, you know. It wasn't all epic and roses like you see on YouTube, you know. Of course, you know. What am I saying? Now this scene, I'm using this 326 power Silvia S15. It's the same car you've seen in the small short video from before, but I'm using it in this clip mainly to showcase the tire damage. Like it's a system about how the tires react and wear down, and eventually they will pop off. And since this part of the video is repetitive and you are going to be looking at the car doing burnouts for at least a minute or so, I thought I might talk to you about that Unity project I was talking about. So basically, I don't know, maybe a month ago or so, I was working privately in my Unity game engine, was making a demo game, something like that. I gave up halfway. I mean, I was going to improve it slightly and then make a video about it. Maybe I will do that some other day. But the main point why I'm mentioning this is because I also made the softbody damage in my Unity game. It's a simple game, no textures, just for testing purposes. But it has the exact same soft body damage as you're looking at in MTA. I basically learned my way through C# programming and learned a bit of shader language and made the deformation script on Unity. And although it's not an exact port from Unity to MTA, but the basic idea is the same. It gave me an insight on how to do things. And the repairing of the car slowly is an exact copy of the code. I mean, it's the exact idea. I'm just... okay, take a look. The tires now popped. This area is supposed to show you how the tires, listen. You see the tire sound in the truck is different. It gets quieter and there are no sparks in softer tracks like grass, sand, things like that, you know, like real life. Take a look as we are heading back again. Notice the grass, there will be no spark. And the sound is softer because metal is supposed to be grinding softly on these materials, you know. This is a random scene where I jump over some. You are looking at it. Excuse me again if I'm talking a lot. I just want to do. I just want to keep you guys excited about what you're watching, because I know it's a long video and you're eventually bound to get bored if you haven't already left the video by this point. Here's another suspension test, this time for the yellow S15. I'd have to say oof right about now. That sweet, smooth repairing animation. I can never get enough of it. If you take a look, you can see that the scratches also get smaller as the car is being repaired. That's a nice little touch to detail. Now this is a bullet interaction demo. It shows what the bullets do to the vehicle damage. It interacts just fine with the tires. This was supposed to shut down the headlights, but for some reason the hitchbox wasn't detected properly, but it's supposed to do what I'm saying. I mean, the scratch in general and the bullet hits aren't 100% accurate, but they're near accurate enough for you to not notice. And again, you're not supposed to have a gun. It's a drift server, but I'm just using the gun for demo purposes, and because I hate to leave features that could be made not made, you know. I want to make a complete system that have everything that you need. Take a look at this shattered glass. By some miracle it's going up and down. No, don't expect it to go again on another suspension test. It can barely move. Listen to the gearbox. It's grindy AF because it gets louder and grindier when your vehicle is damaged enough. This is also a random clip with the fully dirty S15 from the video on YouTube before. I'm going to take it for a quick shower, and the shower scene was also seen in the previous short video I uploaded. Do check it out, by the way. It's an awesome 15-second edit. You can see that the car wash recognizes that the car is dirty and it has no blood stains or anything that could make this suspicious, you know. So it works just fine. And number 9, please, and 1 large soda. Some street drifting, and eventually we will crash the car in Grove Street. We will use slow motion here. Nice. Some chainsaw action. This has nothing to do with Texas. I'm just saying. Take a look at how the wheels are being offset to slightly accommodate for the displacement of the body. By the way, just before we end the video, I have to say this script went through a lot of variation and a lot of work and sleepless nights before I could figure out how to make it. This was probably the smallest line of code and probably the biggest time it took. I mean, the shader itself is like 4 or 5 lines of code, you know? But the scripts behind it that makes the shader work in MTA, and it gives it the extra layers and extra depth is immense. It's like over maybe 4,000 lines of code, you know, which each system consisting of over 1,000 lines of code. Like the dirt layer itself is a separate system, the scratches are standalone, everything is separate, but they all work together so perfectly because when they are made by the same person, you always keep in mind how to link everything together to flow nicely. The entire map that you've been looking at in the video was made by my friend Daniel, who goes by the name Metalhead in MTA, but he was busy for some time, so he couldn't finish the map on time. So I had to call a less qualified person who volunteered to make the crash map for me. His name was Takeshi. As you can see, this is the map he made. I mean, it's not entirely bad, it's just not up to standards when you compare it to Daniel's work. But if I had nothing to use at all, I would of course have used this map. And I'm using a Nissan Skyline R34 because I wanted to also show you how normal cars react to the damage script. This car is straight from version 3.4. It doesn't even have the normal Paradise X, let alone the soft body damage. You can see some black stuff sticking out, no flying off parts, nothing. This is what happens. This was supposed to be a cinematic, so I won't be doing voiceover for it, unless you count what I just said as voiceovers. And that was about it, guys. I hope you made it this far in the video, and if you did make it this far, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and stay tuned for more future videos I make. And follow us on social media like Facebook and Discord, because I post regular work in progress photos or video clips on the stage of the server that's being developed. So I will leave you guys now. Take care of yourself. Peace out.